Most people think there are only two explanations for life. Either everything was created, or it evolved over time. But when you actually look at the evidence, it's not that simple. According to modern biology, life on Earth evolved over billions of years. Simple organisms, slowly changing, adapting, becoming more complex. This process is called natural selection, where traits that help survival get passed on, and there's strong evidence for it. Fossils showing gradual change, genetic similarities between species, and real-time evolution, happening even today. For example, bacteria developing resistance to antibiotics, animals adapting to new environments, changes that can actually be observed. So evolution isn't just a theory in the casual sense. It's a well-supported scientific model. Even within science, there are still unanswered questions. One of the biggest is how life began in the first place. Evolution explains how life changes, but not how non-living matter became alive. Another example, the sudden appearance of complex life forms in Earth's history, often referred to as the Cambrian explosion. In a relatively short period of time, many different types of organisms appear. With complex structures, scientists have explanations, but not all of them are complete. And then there's DNA, a molecule that carries detailed instructions. For building and maintaining life, it behaves in some ways like a coded system, storing and transferring information. This is where different interpretations begin. Some people look at complexity in nature and see evidence of design. Others see natural processes operating over long periods of time, and many scientists don't see a conflict at all. They view evolution as the method, and belief as something separate, not necessarily opposing, but answering different kinds of questions. There's also a third way to look at it, not as a choice between two sides, but as layers of explanation, where science explains the mechanisms, and philosophy or belief explores meaning and origin. For example, you can understand how a system works without fully understanding why it exists. In that sense, evolution explains the process, but not necessarily the origin of the process itself. So when people ask God or evolution, they're often comparing to different types of answers. One focuses on observable processes. The other focuses on origin and meaning. And depending on how you look at it, they don't always cancel each other out. In fact, many people, including scientists, accept both in different ways, seeing evolution as the explanation for how life changes, and belief as a way to understand why anything exists. Even then, there are still open questions about how life began, why the universe follows the rules it does, and whether those rules are purely natural or something deeper. And for now, those questions don't have a single final answer, which means the conversation is still open.